The Mormon Connections. You know, once again, listening to Alex Jones today reminded me of that because, as I said, Joel Skousen and myself both have Mormon backgrounds. And he was talking about Mitt Romney and helping people understand Mitt Romney. And I don't know if Joel's met Mitt Romney or talked to him. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. But like I said, was my stake president at Harvard. And then I seen him, saw him one time at a restaurant here in Salt Lake City, the New Yorker. But there's a difference. This whole thing, it's like you can't throw all Mormons into the same mold. And okay, I'm going to put 5 Mormons out there. The others are much more famous than I. Okay, Mitt Romney, Mormon, returned missionary, married in the temple. 5 great kids from my perspective. Tag's a great kid. I knew him a little bit back when I was at Harvard. He's like 16 years old. See him at church and stuff like that. So, Harry Reid, I don't know about his family. I don't know if you have too many more liberal Democrats than Harry Reid. Joel Skousen. People classify him as ultra-conservative, whatever, but Joel knows a lot about the Constitution because he was raised by Cleon, who I studied with. Cleon Skousen was Mr. Teacher of the Constitution. And then we have Mr. Glen Beck. And as I'd watch Glen Beck's stuff, Glen was just basically using tons of good stuff from Cleon, and I could just see it. But he also had a mixture of liberal stuff in there, so I'd say Glen Beck, 85% truth, which throws people off. I would say Joel, very close to 100% truth. It's hard to pick him apart for me. Amazing stuff. Alex, they'll say, and Alex is extremely intelligent. Joel started talking about Mormonism, a persecution complex, explaining what's going on with Mitt and all this kind of stuff. And the thing is, oops, I took off my glasses. I could be identified. It's getting so late in the game, it's like, whatever. But just think of the difference between those people. Glen Beck, Harry Reid, Mitt Romney, Joel Skousen, and Brent Long, Manoftruth. Very different people. I was a huge Ron Paul fan. Ron Paul's for the Constitution. Joel knows that and explains it articulately and very clearly. I know that, do my best to explain it. And looks like Mitt may be president. Depends on what happens in the next few days. We'll find out. Harry Reid couldn't be further, in my view, from the Constitution. Glen Beck, out here in Utah, people are like, Glen Beck, and Mitt. But Glen Beck, it's just like, it reminds me of a long time ago. Brent, are you into Rush Limbaugh? It's like, no, not at all. I know everybody's into him, and they give me a Rush Limbaugh type. Brent, you're conservative. It's like, no, Rush Limbaugh doesn't even know about the Federal Reserve. Or if he does, he never talks about it. So, forget that. Well, like Harry Reid, if you gave him a test on the Founding Fathers and original intent in the Constitution, the guy would get an F. If you gave Joel Skousen that, he would get an A+. If you gave it to me, I'd probably get A-. I'd get that A, but A- maybe. If you gave it to Mitt on the Constitution, I'd say Mitt's been so busy making money, doing a lot of other stuff. I think he's a good man in a lot of ways, but Mitt would probably he wouldn't get a Harvard grade out of that. He would get like a C on the Constitution, maybe a C-. He'd be average or below average. But you can't know everything. So Alex Jones knows a bunch of his stuff, very intelligent man. Harry Reid, I can't take the whole, social welfare thing that he's for. Mitt, very interesting to watch him get so close to the White House. We'll see what happens. And then Glen, don't pay much attention to him. Sometimes it was amusing, but then he would go off so far off the deep end. In fact, Glen Beck used to criticize Ron Paul and be his enemy. And so that should just show you his true colors, okay? Glen's a showman, used a bunch of material, but when he went against Ron Paul, it's like, Glen, truth, Glen Beck, truth. And he wasn't about it, so that's not my scene at all. Wow, what a beautiful day. Going to be interesting to see Joel in a little bit. So, Joel Skousen, yeah, he knows his stuff. Knows a lot of good stuff. Has a background different than mine. he was in the military and all that kind of stuff. So can't wait to see him tonight. My background, extensive economics, and then we'll talk about religious things sometime, which I don't think too many of the other guys, do. But hey, I don't have to be politically correct. Okay, so the Mormon Connections, those people are all very, very different. So it's just like if I said Rick Santorum and John Kennedy are the same because they're both Catholics. No. You guys know John Kennedy, man. That guy got taken out. JFK got taken out, right? Of course he did. And Santorum, guys like that, they're like, the conspiracy and they would have preferred to have Santorum in there than Mitt, for sure. Or especially Newt. And last thing I'll just say with Newt, Alex, I enjoy listening to Alex Jones. A lot of stuff going on there, and I filter through it, and a lot of good stuff. So I don't know if Alex will ever look at this, but my hat's off to that guy. Extensive knowledge in a bunch of fantastically important areas. But Newt Gingrich, I have his book, Toward a New Civilization or something like that by Alvin and Heidi Toffler, and he did write the forward to it. And I'm like, man, this guy's NWO to the max. And he thought he was going to be president for a while. He was all stoked about it. But I felt sorry for him when I started looking at his background and his childhood and all that kind of stuff. But, Newt, no way. Newt's like, you might as well have Harry Reid in there for president. Newt Gingrich, complete NWO. Okay. And the thing, just because somebody has a Mormon background or they're Mormon or they're active or inactive or whatever, I heard somebody say, it was on Alex Jones, I think, or someone, they go, yeah, Mitt Romney's a Jack Mormon. And I'm like, oh my gosh. If there's one person of the bunch who's not a Jack Mormon and has never been one, it's Mitt Romney. And if you don't see that clearly, then just study a little bit more. But I had to just laugh at that. Mitt Romney, Jack Mormon? That guy, man, I don't, he's like I used to be. I wouldn't have missed church for anything. And I bet Mitt hardly ever misses church. Mitt's not a Jack Mormon. And there's a lot of more prominent Mormons on the scene. Filter through it, because just somebody's Mormon or Catholic or born again or whatever, you can't judge them completely by that. You might know something about them, but it goes a lot deeper than those labels.